Ken and Sue Greaves, and we're well familiar with their story, and they were successful. The guy that, I can't remember his name, but the guy that had the majority of the McDonald's franchises in the Cincinnati area bought Stop Stick for multiple millions of dollars. So when that happened, we were still with the company, and of course, Ken and Sue transitioned away, and it came under new management, and a lot of changes, developed and stuff like that. And it was really a celebration of friends. Wow, these people just became millionaires overnight. They became millionaires. How cool. One day I was talking to Paula, and I said, let me ask you a question, Paula. I said, if one day after we're old and retired, I said to you, Paula, I was on the toilet, and I came up with an idea that's going to make us millionaires. Would you let us mortgage the house? She said, no. Not a chance. So, I'm just saying, you got to be in it together. And that's a crazy good story, but for every crazy good story, there are hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people who are just struggling to make ends meet, maybe living paycheck to paycheck, and don't know how to look to the future, don't know how to plan ahead, and they're just struggling financially, and in the midst of the struggle, they're not even on the same page with one another. So my encouragement to you is get on the same page with one another. No matter what we talk about, whether it's just the simple getting your budget under control or getting your credit cards in order so that you have a plan to get out of that debt, whatever it is, do it together and it'll be successful. If you pull it apart from each other, it's not going to be. Okay, the first chapter has to do with investment and savings, and I'm only going to cover the 3 points of the sneak preview. Your ability to embrace and enjoy your retirement depends to some degree on your personality type. Common sense, y'all. Common sense. I can promise you, if you are a person who constantly worries and does not know what tomorrow will bring and expect tomorrow to be the end, you're not going to be happy no matter what you do. There are some people that literally cannot enjoy their future with any type of savings or investing or profit that they may have acquired because they are anticipating disaster. That's what this is talking about. Now, you can no more change that than, anything. It's part of your personality. So it goes hand in hand. So you do need to know something about yourself as you think about these financial matters. It's better to view retirement as a slowdown period than as the end of your working days. We live in a remarkable economy, and we live in a remarkable, did I say a remarkable economy first? I did say remarkable economy. We live in a remarkable economy, and we live in a remarkable time in history. And the bottom line is if you have some surplus, you can go out there and do some things that you want to do. And so if you think, if you've always wanted to flip burgers, maybe flipping burgers won't pay the mortgage. But what happens when the kids are grown and gone on their own, out of college, the debts are paid, the mortgage is paid, and it's coming to retirement? Maybe the best thing that you could ever accomplish in life is flipping burgers for 15 years instead of sitting in a rocking chair. So again, these are just practical, common sense ways to think about the future. Retirement doesn't mean that your life is over. Here's something that's interesting about retirement. You can look at the statistics on this, and this book doesn't talk about it, but you can look at statistics on retirement. There is a high percentage of people that die within 3 years of their retirement. And you say, well, wonder why that is. Because we as humans, more than any other thing, find our identity in what we do. And some people, when they can no longer be who they were because they can no longer do what they did, life it's just not the same. Well, God didn't intend it to be that way. So think about that from a practical perspective. Here's the last one. We're going to move to the next chapter. The best time to begin preparing financially for retirement is by age 40. We are in this class together. We're here to help one another. How many of you are near 40, plus or minus, and are actively preparing for your retirement financially? See? The reality is most of us wait. So, encouragement is not to wait. All right, the next chapter has to do with retirement, and these two go together, and they represent chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 7 is called Future Tense or Relaxed, and it's a play on words. Are you anxious about the future, or are you certain about the future? You look to your retirement, do you see something that you can hang on to with confidence, or is it so sketchy that it just scares the snot out of you? Now here's the problem with having the snot scared out of you. Most of us, human nature, when something scares us, makes us uncomfortable, we just ignore it. I can promise you. Ignoring the fact that you are getting older and one day you won't have a job and you still need to survive is not going to change that reality for you. Ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It's all a reality. And hey, it beats the alternative. I mean, what's the alternative? Well, we'll end up in a funeral. I'm going to preach about that this morning. All right. Future tense or relaxed, retirement chapter 1, or part 1. Between the ages of 20 and 40, your best investment strategy is to establish a reasonable lifestyle and control your spending to free up a monthly surplus of funds. Very good practical advice. Whether or not people 20 to 40 accomplish it or not, sound financial advice. Number 2, between ages 40 and 60, your best investment strategy is to eliminate all debts, including your home mortgage, and invest in high growth areas. Now you begin to see why you need some help. What's a high growth? I wouldn't have a clue. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Advice number 3. After age 60, your best investment strategy is to settle on a retirement lifestyle and preserve your assets in reasonably secure investments. So it's safe to say, although I'm going to move to the next chapter, it's safe to say chapter 7 has a lot of practical how-tos with regards to every one of these ages. Now, here again, 20 to 40. Well, I've missed that. What do I do? Well, here's the good thing about the 40 to 60. I've said this to Logan. The only difference between me and Logan is I can buy more expensive toys. I mean, when I was Logan's age, I couldn't have bought a Scout. One of these days, y'all gonna see me driving it. I know it's a big joke, but it's all part of the plan. It's about to be paid off, and then I'm gonna reinvest and get it rolling and pay that one off. It's part of the plan. My wife gives me so much heat over the thing sitting in the cul-de-sac. It was all a part of the plan. But I could not do that. At any other stage in my life, my wife would not have let me make that purchase. I just wasn't able to. So you can look at this retirement stuff and you can say, well, I missed the 20 and 40 advice. Well, here's the benefit. Between 40 and 45, which is just 5 years of that 20-year period, you can take care of everything that you should have done between 20 and 40. You can accelerate it and still be on time. So just be practical. All right, going to the next chapter.
Another thing about that investment.
Go ahead.
I've been fortunate to work at some place that really encouraged that. So I've been investing since I started work, and and my dad is near retirement, and he's investing in the same place, and he'll tell me, oh, I lost, so much, and I'm like, Dad, that's supposed to sit there.
Yeah.
You've got to realize that it's going to do this little wave thing. I said, yeah, 2 years ago I lost a lot, but within the last year I've gained it all plus some.
Yeah, right.
I said, you've got to watch that little roller coaster, and you've got to prepare for that, and know that, okay, I'm gonna put more growth in it, and I'm gonna watch it,
Right.
and then so it's a roller coaster. You're not always gonna gain in the investment, but it will go back up.
Yeah.
So you just gotta sit and wait on it.
Let me tell y'all this. I took economics in college, and that was probably the most frustrating other than a math class. I didn't get it. I mean, I didn't get it. And part of the problem was because they talked about widgets. And I've never bought a widget. I've never seen a widget. I don't know where you buy a widget. So I had problems understanding economics class because the freaking widgets. But one thing that I did pay attention to, the historical cycles of economies. And I was watching Presidential Gatekeepers this week. And it was absolutely a remarkable series about the president's chiefs of staff. And in that series, in one of those programs, they said that the last 26 presidents have presided over 27 recessions. You know what that means? That means for the last 26 4-year periods, now do the math, that's a long time, there has been an economic dip within a 4-year segment. You got to look at the big picture. You got to see it as a whole. It's not contained in, oh, it's all good and it's right, or it's all bad and it's wrong. The reality is it's life, and it goes up and down. Just keep that in mind. Okay, chapter 8, retirement number 2. The amount of insurance you carry should be determined by Did I miss something? Oh, I just wrote it down wrong. We're where we're supposed to be. Chapter 8, insurance. The amount of insurance you carry should be determined by your family's needs and your income. There again, what can I tell you about that? That sort of sounds like a personal problem, doesn't it? Sort of sounds like you and your husband ought to sit down at a table and figure that out yourself, because here's why. Your needs are different from mine and Paula's needs. Mine and Paula's needs are different from Greg and Sonia's needs. This is not a thumbprint thing. So you have to do the homework yourself, and you have to be advised by someone that you trust. Insurance should be considered a supplement, not the primary source of income after the wage earner's death. And finally, even though your need for health insurance will increase as you get older, your need for life insurance will decrease. So again, some very practical advice with regards to that. Okay.
Lamar, on that, my life insurance,
Mhm.
I'm just bringing something that Dave Ramsey said that I keep in the back of my mind. As you get older, like you said, you need less of
Mhm.
that, because what you can do eventually is save what your burial costs will be.
Right.
And that's what they use, and then you won't even have to have, insurance per se. You're actually paying yourself
Yeah.
the insurance, and then your investment again is growing, and you're actually just building your own insurance for burial
Right.
cost, um, through your investment.
And it sounds like you have done your homework.
I have.
Maybe when we do some advanced stuff, and when we're planning on that in the beginning of the year in 2014, we're planning on doing some financial stuff church wide as a benefit to our church. Yeah, maybe you can help us out. And hey, y'all have heard Anna. She's knowledgeable on some things. You know, if you need to get in contact with her, call her up and say, "What were you talking about?" Because Lamar don't know. No, I don't. Okay.
Also, what you want to do is when you start getting older, you want to have your burial paid for.
That's true, yeah.
You want to have it paid for, wrapped up, and taken care of, and make sure your planning goes that your offspring
God, what
will
time
not
is it?
have any worries, and you won't have any worries, and it was taken and paid for. Then your retirement is secure. Let it have it buried.
Yeah. And let me say this. This is very much a generational conversation because Mervyn is talking about burial. How many people in this room have said cremations for me?
I said burlap bag just cost me on the side.
See, that changes the whole scenario. So, well, yeah, I mean, and the principle is still get it paid for, but there's a shift between older generations and younger generations, and that's just a reality. I want my ashes sprinkled off of a Carnival cruise ship. I don't know if they will allow that, but that would sort of that would sort of take my need for a burial plot out of the picture. I don't know. Carnival may have a rule against that. Let me tell you something. I am so loving a cruise. I am so loving a cruise, y'all.
Do that, Lamar.
Just
I
before
want
you get on
everyone
the boat.
to enjoy
You're done.
this and go on a cruise and remember me, because that's what, my president's mother did. Her request was everybody to have an ice cream celebration.
Cool.
They had an ice cream party after
Yeah.
the funeral, before the burial, went and everybody had ice cream celebration, and then went to the burial.
That's cool. Yeah.
And those type things.
You want to hear something really wild? You talk about not having your burial expenses. When my sister died, she was cremated, and her kids kept her remains on their mantle, and each one takes her on vacation when they go on vacation.
No, they don't. Okay. Because I may be on YouTube, I am not going to make a comment. I'm just going to say that's a great story, Mervyn. He ain't going nowhere. On the piano. Okay, let me hit this, and here's my pastoral advice to y'all on this. And this goes back not only to my pastoral experience, but growing up in a preacher's home. Folks, families being in turmoil and hostility over the distribution of parental assets is a very real issue. It creates lifelong enemies among family members in some cases. I have seen people stop speaking to one another. So, The advice that I'm about to give you from this book comes with the caveat of pastoral experience. Please decide on your plan and share it with your children. And tell them if they fight over it, you'll come back and haunt them. I mean, just make it clear. I don't understand what's so wrong with getting together for a barbecue and say, look, Lamar, you get the Lincoln, and Lottie, you get the bedroom suit. And that's just the way it's going to be. And y'all aren't going to kill each other, quit speaking to each other over it. This is what me and Mom want, and we want y'all to have this, and we don't want y'all to be fighting over it. And as far as practical, if you can give it to them before they die, just go ahead and do that, and then it prevents them from fighting. Okay. Pastoral advice. And you what? Don't pay taxes on it. Your will is the key to your family's financial future. A few strategic financial moves can prevent the loss of most of your assets to taxes after death. Pay attention to that very carefully. A carefully chosen will allow you to disperse your assets to your beneficiaries both before and after your death. Here are a will of your own. Number 1, find a lawyer. Number 2, talk to your loved ones. Number 3, take an inventory. Number 4, choose an executor. Number 5, make it legal. Number 6, find a safe place to store your will. Number 7, keep it updated. That's real practical. Keep it updated. And then, oh, hang on a second. I thought I marked some bad things to do. Bad things not to do. Nope. It's all good advice. There you go. Okay. We covered 5 chapters in about 35 minutes. So again, if you're interested in anything we talked about, going deeper, at a minimum, you can start with the book, and you can go from there. But I encourage you to get involved in it. Now, here's what's coming the next 2 weeks. The next section has to do with family issues, and we're primarily going to focus on teaching our kids. Now, what is our desire? Look, I blew my money. I blew it when I was a kid. I blew it. I tell people, my mom taught me to tithe and didn't say a thing about the 90%. My mom wasn't concerned about the 90%. She just wanted to make sure God got his take. So I gave my little dime because I got a $1 allowance, and I blew 90 cents. I never saved anything. I never bought anything that cost $5 because I never saved. After I put my dime in the offering plate, I blew the 90 cents. I didn't want Logan to do that. I tried my best. He tithes, and he blows his money. Maybe it's a life thing. I don't know. But what I am saying is, if you at all have any concerns for your kids, and especially if they start getting towards working age, which Logan is doing, and that's a critical time, and Logan's learning some hard lessons, because Logan, last summer, Logan made $1,000 a month. Incredible. And every time he came home with a pocket full of money, his mom was in his ear. Remember this fee. Remember January. Remember February. Remember March. Guess what happened when Logan got to January 2013? Danny hit the nail on the head. Broke as a convict. Guess what happened this year? Now, Logan and Jake decided they worked too hard last summer. They didn't want to make $1,000 a month this summer, so they scaled back operations. But you know one thing Logan's done this summer that he didn't do last year? He's remembered January and February not having any gas money. Because we didn't bail him out for that. So this is your opportunities to teach your kids. We'll cover that issue next week. Thank y'all for coming. Good to see you.